Yo, what's good boys? It's NinjSZN, and in today's video, I'm going to be explaining to you guys how I got good aim on controller. Because I'm sure every control player knows that aiming on controller is not that easy. Keyboard players think control players just get carried by aim assist, but that is definitely not the case because I've seen a ton of control players with pretty bad aim. Now before Fortnite, I didn't really have any prior experience in shooter games. Like yeah, I played COD a couple times, but my mom was pretty strict, so I was more of a Wii Sports kid. The first thing I did to improve my aim was get a custom crosshair. Using a custom crosshair makes my aim a lot more precise because the most important part of your crosshair is a center dot. A lot of players hit for low damage and just blame the game, but in reality, it was because their crosshair was barely even on their opponent. When aiming, you're supposed to focus on having your center dot directly in the middle of your opponent. And by using a custom crosshair, that'll be 10 times easier. I use Crosshair X, you can get it on Steam for $7.99, and they also have a free version called Crosshair V2 I recommend checking out. If you decide to get Crosshair X, here's a share code for my custom crosshair. You are able to use Crosshair X in full screen, and if you're unable to, then you need to uncheck disable full screen optimizations. And no, this isn't bannable because Crosshair X actually doesn't change any of the game files. It's literally just an on-screen overlay. If you're a console player, then you won't be able to use a custom crosshair. Just remember what I said earlier about focusing on the center dot while aiming. The next thing I did to get good aim on controller was stop flicking my shots. This is a bad habit I've had for a while now. I still do it, but not nearly as much as I used to. But as a control player, you really shouldn't be flicking your shots. You're not on keyboard. Instead, you need to start using your movement to line up shots, especially if you're on linear. Because one of the hardest things about aiming on linear is making those small micro adjustments. But by using your movement to make these adjustments, aiming will be a whole lot easier. Also, I stopped jumping so much. Jumping really doesn't make it harder for your opponents to hit you since they know exactly where you're about to land, and plus, it makes your crosshair bigger than it would be when you're standing. This will in turn make you hit lower damage shots. This is a pretty hard habit to break, and my tip for this would be avoid getting nervous and panicking because most of the time, people jump in shotgun fights due to nerves. Also, instead of even jumping to avoid damage, start crouching. You'll avoid taking so much damage because most good players go for headshots with their shotgun. Be careful when doing this though, because not gonna lie, I've gotten headshotted so many times because my opponent went for a body shot. This next tip is one I forgot about, but I've been doing this ever since interviewing Mr. Savage the other day, and that is to keep your crosshair close to your opponent when fighting. Crosshair placement is so underrated and honestly doesn't get talked of enough, which is crazy to me because I feel like this is one of the biggest things that separate pros from casuals. Having a crosshair close to your opponent while fighting will literally fix so many problems. For example, if you're pressuring an opponent and they open up your edit, if your crosshair is already close to him, you won't have to make any adjustments to hit him. Whereas, if your crosshair was far, you would have to flick your controller stick across the screen. Doing this is so easy too. Just take a look at this fight right here. Notice how no matter what, I'm keeping my crosshair close to my opponent. The next thing I did to get better aim on controller was letting my enemy go to my crosshair. I feel like a lot of times when I would miss my shots, it was because my enemy was behind my crosshair. I would aim where they were, fire my shotgun, but by the time I let my shot off, they moved and I would just miss my shot. And if you're someone that just barely misses their shots or hits low damage shots, then I really think this tip will help you out because chances are you need to start letting your enemy go into your crosshair. So aim your shotgun just a bit in front of whatever direction they're going, and as soon as they get there, pull the trigger. The last thing I did to improve my aim on controller, well, not the last thing, just last thing for this video, but that was being more patient with my shots. And I honestly think this is one of the most important tips in this video because being patient on your shots is the #1 way to hit more shots on controller. So many players just rush their shot, try to get damage off first, but I'm telling you, if you take that extra half a second to line up a proper shot, you will do way more damage. I'm gonna play a couple recent clips for you guys, and as you watch these clips, just pay attention to my movement, my crosshair placement, and my aim in general. Yo, was that even a real player? Ooh. Dude, this dude is on my... Bro, please. Nice. Yo, notice how I built that wall as soon as he looked at me, chat. Oh yeah, buddy's scared now. 200. His teammates trying to be a hero, chat. He's trying to be a hero. Yo, bro's looking goofy. Oh, 4 piece. 200. Bro, I have no mats. I need a 1 pump. Ooh. Selena, come here. Bro, all you do is mantle. Alright boys, that's gonna be it for today's video. I do have more ways on how I improved my aim on controller, so if this video does well, I'll do a part 2. And also, I'm trying to shout out one of my supporters in my next video, so comment code BIGNINJ 3 times, and I will pick one random person to shout out next video. But alright, I'm out, bruh.